As we all know, the 1000-Year Blood War anime has been announced for October, and as much joy as this brings me, I have to admit I am worried at the same time, because to put it simply, the final arc of Bleach is not perfect. It has a lot of flaws, but thankfully for us, the creator of Bleach, Tybw, has confirmed that there will be additional content added to the anime, and in this video I will be listing off 5 changes that I want Studio Period to include in the anime. But before we get into the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, let's get into it. At number 1 is Sternritter Backstories. The Sternritters are the main antagonist group of the final arc, and in total, there are 26 Sternritters. There's no denying that these guys are cool as fuck. I mean, come on, what isn't there to like about them? They have cool designs and overpowered abilities. These characters had enough potential to surpass all the other previous antagonist groups. However, there was one thing holding them back: their backstories. Only a few Sternritters have backstories, and even those are way too short. Without backstories, these characters feel bland, and it's a real shame because they deserved better. In the Arrancar arc, it was established that the reason why all of the 10 members of the Espada were willing to serve under Aizen was not because of his Kyoga Suigetsu, but rather his immense strength alone was able to make even the king of Wikomundo submit to him. While on the other hand, the members of Execution were willing to follow Ginjo's lead because he promised them unimaginable power. In all of the previous arcs, we knew why the villains were fighting, but when it comes to the Sternritters, we were never given an actual reason as to why so many of them bend to Yuha's will. A major theme of the last arc is revenge. Therefore, it makes a lot of sense for the Quincy's to attack the Soul Society because of their 1000-year feud rights. However, I am not convinced. There has to be more to it. Certain Sternritters such as Gremmy, Pernida, and BG9 aren't even human. So why are they fighting in the first place? Is it to fulfill Yuha's wish? Or maybe because they just love to fight? Also, another reason why I am not convinced is because some members of the Sternritter weren't even born when the Soul Reapers exterminated the Quincy's. In chapter 603, Robert Akutron literally states that the Bambis are new members of the Vonden Reich. This confirms that they weren't alive back when the first Quincy War took place. So my question is, why exactly are they fighting? Did the Soul Reaper kill their parents, or do they owe Yuha a favor? I am trying to wrap my mind around it, but I just can't seem to understand their motivations. One of my favorite Sternritter is Aznot, and the reason why I enjoy his character is not only because of his cool design, but also his backstory. See, Aznot was dying from a medical condition, and when he was on the verge of death, it was Yuha who came to his rescue and saved his life. This explains why he basically worships him. To form a bond with these characters, it is vital for Kubo to establish a reason as to why they are fighting. Don't get me wrong, I understand that there are simply too many of these characters, and it would be basically impossible for Kubo to come up with backstories for all of them. However, for some characters, it is absolutely important for us to learn their backstories. Examples are all of the members of the Elite Guard, the Bambis, Gremmy, and many more. Everything that I just mentioned also applies to Yuha. Secondly, give minor characters a bigger role. In the final arc, Kubo decided to bring back several supporting characters, including Ganju, Grimjow, Neriel, all of the Vizards, basically all of the Execution members, Ryukin, Ishin, and many more. It's very obvious what Kubo was trying to do here. It's almost like a send-off, his final way of saying goodbye to the fans. And you know what? I loved it. Despite me finding someone like Ganju incredibly annoying, I have to admit I was very happy to see him again. It made me reminisce about all of the good old days back in the Soul Society arc. But with that being said, I have one question to ask Kubo Sensei. What was the point of bringing all of these characters back if they weren't going to have an important or bigger role in the arc? And it's not just the minor characters who were treated poorly. Even the vice captains barely got any screen time. I remember this one specific scene where a group of Soul Reapers invade the royal palace, and within this group was Shuhei. I was excited to see him because he basically did nothing up until that point. Things were looking great until Lily started shooting at them, and guess what? one of his bullets hit Shuhei. This left him immobile, and this was the last we saw of him. There's also another scene where the Vizards are fighting against Gerard Valkyrie, but they all end up getting one-shotted, and Toshiro steals the spotlight. Now, I'm not delusional. I know that it is impossible for the Vizards to win this battle. However, I still want to see them work together and figure out a way to at least stall him. Ikkaku and Yumichika as well were brought to the Soul Palace. And you guessed it, they do absolutely nothing. I am really hoping that these characters will get a bigger role in the anime because, to be honest, they deserve it. Someone like Ikkaku, who has achieved Bankai, has only used it once in the entire story. This would be a perfect excuse for him to use it again. At number 3 is a flashback of the 1,000-Year Blood War. As we all know, the final arc of Bleach is called the 1,000-Year Blood War, and this title is obviously related to the battle that took place between the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's in the past. Fans, and myself included, were convinced that we would be given a flashback of these events in the manga, but unfortunately this never happened. This flashback is vital because it will expand the history of the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers. We were told that the Shinigami informed the Quincy's that they were destroying the balance of the world by exterminating Hollows, and that the Soul Reapers tried their best to convince the Quincy's to stop, but they wouldn't, and therefore the Soul Reapers had to exterminate the Quincy's. A flashback would be a clear indicator of how exactly the Soul Reapers tried to reason with the Quincy's. Were they civil or aggressive with their approach? And it would also be awesome to see how exactly Yamamoto defeated Yuha in their first battle. An idea I came up with for the flashback is a scene where the Gotai 13 are killing innocent Quincy's. This would help Kubo emphasize just how ruthless the Soul Reapers were in the past, and it would also make the audience sympathize with the Quincy's, and therefore Kubo would be able to humanize the Sternwarders. It could potentially even open up deeper conversations, such as who was in the right, the Shinigami or the Quincy's. Next is give the members of Squad Zero proper battles. In the Turn Back the Pendulum arc, it was revealed that there is a separate division from the Serete called Squad Zero that resides in the Soul Palace, and their only purpose is to protect the Soul King. And more importantly, Shunsui states that the individuals in this group are powerful than the entire Gotai 13. Yes, you heard that right. Stronger than Yamamoto, Unohana, and Kenpachi. I can't explain how much hype I felt when I first read this chapter. I was desperate to see these individuals show off their skills, and when the time came, let's just say I wasn't too happy. Now don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the fights of both Nimaya and Ichibei, but the rest of them were just disappointing. I mean, come on, they were defeated off screen. I am willing to lean towards the idea that Kubo was trying to highlight the strength of the elite guard by having them defeat the strongest Soul Reapers out there with ease. And if this is the case, then it makes perfect sense. However, my main issue with this is that it makes Squad Zero appear weak to the average reader. Hopefully, the anime will give the Squad Zero members separate battles against the elite guard, and they will be able to showcase their strength. And I am not asking for too much here. They don't even have to win their battles. Just make them feel more intimidating. And finally, a proper conclusion to the story of Bleach. Tite Kubo himself has confirmed that he ended Bleach just as he planned to. This is cool and all, but if you have actually read the last couple of volumes of Bleach, then you would know that this statement isn't really convincing. Who knows? Maybe Kubo meant he ended the last chapter of Bleach the way he wanted to. And if this is true, then I am happy for him. However, I am really hoping that they make some changes in the anime, because to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of the conclusion. A lot of battles were skipped, there were several unresolved plot points, and most importantly, I really didn't like the final battle against Yuha. I especially hated the silver arrowhead. It really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I also hated how fast the final fight skips to the 10-year time skip. Everything felt really rushed. out of everything that I just mentioned, I am 100% convinced that the ending of Bleach will change. I can't wait to see what Studio Period comes up with. They even have a chance to outdo Naruto vs Sasuke with this battle. I am confident that they will make the most out of this opportunity. There are several other things that I would like to be added in the anime, but I didn't include them in the video because I want to be realistic here. In my personal opinion, I think that everything that I just mentioned are the most important additions we need. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and let me know down in the comment section what you guys would like to be added or changed in the anime. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe.